ride for the last 40 years. And today I have my special guest. He is a game developer, no other than Mr. Sergiu Covalciuc.
Thank you, thank you.
Welcome to Book 101, Mr. Sergio. And can you please introduce more about yourself?
Thank you, Daniel, for having me. Thank you for inviting me to be part of this podcast. My name is Sergiu. Um, I'm from Moldova. I live currently in U.S. in Washington D.C. area. Um, I started my journey not as a game developer, of course, but somehow my life got me to a point where this just had to be an expression of myself. I believe like everybody has some sort of creativity in them, and uh, that this creativity somehow comes out of the person in different forms through a painting, through music, through sculpting. In my case, it was this game to be developed. So my experiences and some of my knowledge got me on the path of developing this game.
Mr. Sergio Kovalchuk, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge to the world.
You're very
So let's talk
welcome.
about mobile games, a whole world at your fingertips. Can you tell us about this?
Yes, sir. So I'll just tell you a little bit how this whole idea came to me, and what happened is that um, uh, the whole thing started with me pretty much uh, doing some combat sport for my fitness, for myself. And as I got more into it, I was doing for about 2 years. As I got more into it, I realized that you are bound to your body, to body being serving just like your tools in a way. So your mind is what dictates what are you gonna do in a certain situation. And I realized that you can have a mind of a champion, but if your body is not prepared, if you're shy, if you're not as brave, or you have some kind of physical problems, then you're not going to be able to compete with the strongest ones. So I decided to reflect the mind of a champion through this game so you could compete with other people without the physical uh, alteration, without the physical contact. And just like many sports out there, many games out there, uh, this game challenges something in you. For example, every game challenges an ability in you. For example, basketball will challenge your ability to jump, your stamina, your control. Chess, probably the memory, logic, and so on and so on. So my game is one of a kind because it challenges your intuition. There are not many competitors out there who would challenge your intuition. The closest one probably will be the poker game, as it comes to a point where you have to be very intuitive as of what kind of hand your opponent has. And so this game challenges your intuition, and of course, out there you have people who are more intuitive than others, and the very intuitive people, we call them psychic. But we all have this intuition in us. Your phone might ring right now, and you're gonna without looking at your phone, you kind of already know who's calling you. And that's what intuition is. Something tells you, something inside, the sixth sense. And so this game challenges that ability for you to understand, to feel what's happening around you. I'll tell you that a lot of our life, as we progress technologically, our lives became more and more easy to navigate, from a GPS usage to uh, Google. You can, any question you have, you can just Google it. You'll have some kind of answer. So it's less and less intuitive. So I believe that, um, by practicing some form of intuition playtime, or practicing this game, you can actually develop a higher intuitive feeling in yourself. And I believe, that, you know it's from the scientific point of view, it's somewhat a rudimentary thing, for a almost like a very rudimentary, but somewhat like a telepathic thing. For example, if I have a fighter fighting with somebody like from Brazil and fighting with somebody from US, that person is trying to connect with the other fighter through this game to try to understand and feel the other player, so that he can make the right decision. Um, the decision to make this as a mobile game rather than any other game came to me because, as I in my experience, as I travel sometimes, and if I have like long travel, sometimes I want to, just kill the time in the airport or in the airplane. And let me tell you this, I would say that there are not many games who would keep me entertained, and which will keep me kind of like um, engaged. And majority of them are very, I would call them sensory, where you just have to touch, or move something. They're not very stimulating, mind stimulating. So I feel like it's not enough. Uh, um, the games out there are not enough, at least for me. So I created this game so that there is something out there for people like me who likes a little bit more mindful and challenging and more, I would say, interesting, where it's not just, touching a screen game, but also something where you have to kind of like think, and I would say even imagine, and just having a good time and connect with other people around the globe. So that's pretty much how I came to this to create this game.
Mr. Sergio,
Yeah.
how has the mobile gaming landscape evolved in the last 5 years, and where do you see it heading?
So I started this game. The idea came to me about 10 years ago. So when I started this game, I'll tell you my experience is that I did my research out there, and the pricing to develop a game, an application, was very high. When I did my research, I called some companies, and they told me, they gave me around 140, $160,000 for both platforms, for Android and iPhone. And uh, if I want to do it just on one, it would be like 80 grand or so. So I would say that, quality wise and accessibility wise, the mobile gaming industry improved a lot over the years. So uh, 10 years ago, it was almost like something hard to manage, hard to create. And right now, it's very accessible, much easier to find the developers, to find the right people. There's more talent out there. I'll tell you that I had to go through about four different developers until somewhat I reached this level of completion, as of it is my game right now. um 10 years ago, it was rough out there, and I'm imagining before that it was even harder to find the talent, and especially affordable talent. That's another problem. As personally, I'm not that wealthy to invest like $160,000. I had to find ways to manage this production, this development in a more, um, how to say, affordable way. So definitely it got better in the past 10 years.
Mr. Sergio, how do you balance innovation with the expectations of today's mobile gamers?
Uh, it's crazy out there. If you don't have, uh, if you don't know about it, you're not. If you're not involved into this culture of mobile game, you don't know. But for example, in Asia, it's very very big. They have tournaments with huge money prizes.
Yes.
Um, what is called this game? PUBG. PUBG. It's a very big in Central Asia. They do tournaments with, like I said, the big money prizes, and um, I see it develop even more and more because that's the benefit of having a mobile game, that it's mobile. It's like you mentioned, it's at your fingertips. You can carry with you. It's much easier than carrying a laptop or having a computer or stomping somewhere to use a computer. It's literally at your fingertips. And um, I predict it's gonna get even crazier, where this will be, I don't know, for for the worse or better. It's gonna get like more. Um, the people will get more involved in mobile gaming, as this is a perfect, I would say, remedy for boredom, for entertainment, where when you want to like entertain yourself. So definitely it's going to develop into something much bigger, and here I am trying to ride that wave and take advantage of this new culture. And like I said, I hope this game develops into something where it could become, in my mind, in my vision, it could become a new sport. As I said, there are no alternatives. And if I can have a championship, a world championship between the best intuitive minds on the planet, even if it's streamed, even if it's televised, where you can have the most intuitive people in the world being in the finals, and you see the crowning champion, that this person, like a modern day, I don't know, like a magician, psychic, because you can scratch your nose and he will be like, oh, so your name is Daniel, and you will be like, how do you know? But there's just some levels of people minds out there. Like I said, there is some magic in this world, explainable. I'm sure it's explainable, but it's something not ordinary. So definitely looking into seeing how far and how big this wave will take me.
Mr. Sergio, what the core principles do you follow when designing a game for mobile platforms?
The core principles would be, you got to get yourself informed. You got to have uh, a good vision and imagination. At first, I'll tell you that um, it was it sounds simple designing a mobile game, because in your mind you might have some kind of like pictures, but actually putting those pictures into a design form, that's what was the hard part. And I hope people out there who listen to me will take my uh, take my expertise into account, because I literally took, I had my kind of sketches in my head, but I literally took a case of a phone. I put it on a piece of paper and I drew the outline of that case on a piece of paper, and put I put every element of each page of my game by hand with some colored pencils. I've created each element for each page, and then all this given to was passed to the developers who actually coded this into somewhat to create this exact design, exact sketch. So to go back, the core principles would be a good imagination, a patience, like in every form of creation. I believe that patience is something important, but it's probably the hardest part. Um, patience, imagination. Of course, another another core principle would be you gotta have some kind of fundings for this thing. So you gotta have a certain budget. You gotta do your research and understand the market, understand how how expensive this is gonna turn into, because we all make mistakes when we get involved into something new, and of course it costs us. So believing in yourself, probably believing more than others, but at the same time trying to avoid delusion, because we can we can get carried away, and then if there's nobody else to kind of like support and stop us and kind of like supervise us, we can really go maybe in the wrong direction. But having some kind of support will be very important too, as um, somebody else's opinion, or somebody else's eyes and ears would be super important for a more successful, a better design, a better application.
A better design indeed. So, what engines or tools do you recommend for aspiring mobile developers?
Um, there are different languages out there for to code to code a game and application for a mobile phone. So um, I literally, like I mentioned before, I would advise you just to have. I think the most important thing is just to have a pen and paper, or a pencil and paper, and just do your sketches. Try to see exactly all the elements, how they're going to be placed on each page of your application. Create, if your game is something where you have a storyline, where you create um, development, a future development of the character. Try to make as many notes as possible, and just literally get yourself a journal which you will use to make those notes, and sometimes go back to those notes to improve them. But you gotta m- make those physical, pretty much, notes and sketches for yourself, so that you can then later recreate them already in a digital form. That will be my first tool recommendation. As simple as it is, it's a pencil and a paper, and then you gotta have, of course, both phones. You gotta have an Android and an iPhone. It's There's no way. My mistake was at first that when I started developing my game, I, for some reason, I mean, I know the reason, but I decided to develop it only for Android, as I thought it's easier and more accessible. And I used to have an Android phone. When it was developed and was out there on the market, I realized that people with Android don't really play video games. They're some professionals or old people. Um, they're not interested in playing games. So that was hard for me to find users for my game. So it was something, know your customer, know your customer, know who they are, what devices they're using. So have both of the phones accessible for testing. And then, as far as a language to code, definitely you gotta have um, the languages to code. This is the funny thing. When I first started developing, there were only two languages to code for the mobile phones. Right now, there are many more, and the one which I use specifically was it's called Flute, and it's you can develop for both platforms simultaneously in a way, and it makes your life much easier, and it's much more cost effective. So that helps you a lot in the long run, because developing one platform and then going back to almost redesign and restart everything from the beginning for a different platform, it's just a lot of time, and it's pretty much restarting the process from the beginning. It's just it's annoying in a way. So definitely have those tools. um, I would say that a very good tool will be for you will be to have a good team, from a designer to design your logo, to design your characters, an artist, and finishing with the people who actually develop and test it. So a good team is super important. And I know it's not a tool, but it is a tool. It's what helps you create. So that team will be is the probably the most important part of the whole development, because they ultimately responsible for creating uh, your vision. And like I said, I went through probably four developers in this in my process of development. And every time I went with each one of them, I reached their max level of development, and then I had to switch to a new one because I just could see that this is going nowhere. So, make the step. Don't try to, uh, you know, um, go over and over again for the same process and then not getting any results. Just, stop right there. If you tested enough and it doesn't move any forward, change the team, do something about it. It's a lot of managing. It's a lot of project managing involved. Luckily, I think I have a good sense of project managing, and that helped me a lot. But yeah.
Mr. Sergio, as a game developer, what is your short-term and long-term goals?
Um, Short-term goals are to have as many users as possible, to have people play and have fun. I play this game myself. I play with my wife. I play with my friends when I get a chance. It's not just a game to uh, to prove anything. It's a game to have fun. It's a game where I'll tell you that a lot of times, especially men, women for some reason a little bit less, but especially men, we're very competitive. We just like to compete with each other. um, I don't know, from a friendly way to a non-friendly way. You're trying to cook some eggs, and your friend will be like, "Hey, let me show how I do the eggs." Just like it's something in us. I think it's something animalistic in us to compete, to try to prove to somebody that you're better. So this game gives you an outlet for that urge to compete. It gives you an opportunity to get it out of your system. You played your game. If you won, you proved that for this specific game you're better, and you can calm down, right? So it's a lot of fun. So short term, like I said, is to have people playing my game, have fun, listen to the feedback, improve. There are many projects ahead which I'm trying to implement, but it takes time and funds. And the long term is, as I mentioned earlier, is to create out of this game, to create a new sport, uh, a new competition, hopefully televised. Hopefully, people will tune in to watch the finals, like I said, of that championship, a world championship between this most intuitive people on the planet, to find out who's the champion, and then to repeat this as a competition to for the next year, a new champion, because every year a new talent will be developed, will advance. And I want to give a platform, I want to give a way for those people who are talented in this specific niche and this specific ability of being an intuitive person, to give them an outlet and to express themselves and to be a champion of this ability.
Yes, indeed. So, Mr. Sergio, before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people. My other podcast, because my abstract essay is already in fifth season, abstract poetry in second season, and of course, my book 101 review in fifth season as well,
Wow.
comedy 101 in second season, Food 101 and fifth season, Geography 101 and Love Letters are in third season, and my baby podcast, Mental Health 101, and
Okay.
Movie 101 Review and Music 101 in each fourth season, and Science 101 and Sex 101 in each first season. Please do listen to them wherever you listen your podcasts. Mr. Sergio, what's your dream hardware innovation for mobile gaming's future?
Of course, a dream hardware would be something holographic where you can you can project any game. So, and of course, if you would have some kind of like sensory uh, sensory touch feeling to it, so you can control those holographs, would be amazing. So I would say that yeah, that's probably, in my opinion, that's the next step in technology, especially mobile, would be to do this holographic immersion from a game to even watching a movie or watching a video or looking at a picture just out there in the air being projected, and for you to control those projections with your fingertips, with your hands.
Yes, indeed. Looking forward for that innovation. So, Mr. Sergio, can you recommend a book that empowers you as a game developer?
As a game developer, a book, that's a tough one. I'll tell you that um, many things inspire me as a game developer. A book probably would not be one, but I'll tell you what books really inspire me in my daily lives. My daily life is I'm a big fan of Fyodor Dostoevsky. My favorite book is Idiot.
Yes.
I read it very young, and that had a huge impact on me. I understood it very well, and this book actually reshaped. I will tell you that it reshaped my view of the world and reshaped my personality and who I am today. And I'm glad, because I had to choose sides, and this book opened those uh, opened the curtain pretty much for me to see the sides, and I wanted to choose the side, and I hope I made the right choice. So that's about Dostoevsky. And currently, since your podcast is Book 101, which I could have a separate episode about books because I'm a reader myself. Um, Currently, I'm reading Haruki Murakami. That's one of my favorite writer as well. It's crazy. I'm just amazed by his style and his novels. I can't get enough. So these are the books which keeps me entertained, and I have so much fun reading them.
Y- Thank you for your recommendation, Mr.
Yes, sir.
Sergio, and thank you so much for sharing your knowledge to the world. And of course, the battle mind unleash your intuition. So, can you please invite our listeners to support your game itself?
Um, hey, everybody! Please try and challenge your intuition with my new game, Battle Mind. Have fun, enjoy, and be a better person and be a better intuitive person.
Yes, people, be a better person in each day. Mr. Sergio, let's support him and people. Let's play and rock the world. So, Mr. Sergio, thank you so much for your time.
You're very welcome, Mr. Daniel. Thank you for having me.
More to come, people. See you soon.
Peace.